introduced me. I am Dr. Jyoti Varghese from the Department of Periodontology. I'm a professor there. The topic of my presentation today is a comparative evaluation of 3 different root conditioning agents on the surface characteristics of a cemental surface. It's a scanning electron microscopic study. Well, to introduce the topic, the revival of the lost periodontium have always been the clinician's unceasing objective since decades. Periodontitis is a chronic disease which is characterized by a loss of connective tissue attachment to the tooth, loss of supporting alveolar bone, and the apical migration of junctional epithelium along the root surface, which are the prime factors which is required for a substantial periodontal regeneration. Now, what is periodontal regeneration? It is a process of formation of new cementum, periodontal ligament, and alveolar bone adjacent to a previous pathologically exposed root surface. Recently, periodontal therapies are focused towards obtaining predictable periodontal regeneration. Although known to be effective, the limitation is it does not restore the normal architecture of the lost periodontium. A periodontitis-affected root surface creates an environment with limited potential for regenerating its structural components, that is, the alveolar bone, periodontal ligament, and the cementum, which may be as a result of a disease process in a previously healthy progenitor cells, or may be due to lack of cells to form structures of the oral cavity. Also, exposed root surface has undergone substantial alterations and may no longer serve as an appropriate substrate for cell attachment and fiber development. What is the main goal of periodontal therapy? The main goal of periodontal therapy is to stop or cease the disease process, which is provided by both non-surgical and surgical means. Mechanical instrumentation of the diseased root surface by scaling and root planing can effectively remove endotoxin contaminated cementum. However, reports by Boyke and Proyer-Poulsen have stated that root surface does not favor a fibroblast or connective tissue attachment if only mechanical instrumentation is done. Hence, following instrumentation, demineralization of the root surface with an acid or chelating agent can always prove to have effective outcome both with fibroblast and connective tissue attachment. Looking back into the history, the use of various biological root surface modifiers have been attempted and resulted in effectual treatment for elimination of smear layer and demineralization of the root surface, thus creating an area amenable for maintaining fibrin clot and thus results in favorable healing. A look into the histological evaluations. Few of the scientists like Box have suggested the use of citric acid antiformin combination, which resulted in new attachment. A series of experiments done by Urist suggested that acid demineralization possessed inductive properties. Register and Burdock evaluated various acids for the potential to promote new connective tissue attachment. Their findings suggested that citric acid for 2 to 3 minutes gave optimum results like cementogenesis and formation of new attachment. Citric acid is a weak organic acid mainly used as an acidifier, flavoring, and chelating agent. It has some of the properties like it removes smear layer formed after root instrumentation. It exposes and enlarges openings of the dentinal tubules. It demineralizes the intertubular dentin surface, exhibiting a fibrillar surface texture, and periodontal ligament and gingival fibroblast adhere better to a demineralized root surface. Another important chelating agent with a demineralizing effect is ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid, also called as EDTA. It's a unique molecule that has 6 potential binding sites for metal ions, especially calcium and iron. It exerts demineralizing effect through the chelating divalent cations at a very neutral pH. It improves the fibroblast attachment and migration on the root surface, which is important for periodontal regeneration, and also facilitates development of a fiber attachment system. Now, the main point of interest is an organic compound, that is dicarboxylic acid molecule with 2 carboxyl groups, is malic acid. It was introduced in adhesive dentistry as a component of the bonding system. A mild acid which have been used as an agent. In endodontics, various concentration of malic acid has been used for smear layer removal. However, 7% was found to be effective. With the concentrations on 10 and 15%, it was found to be erosive to the root canal dentin. Studies by Balal et al. And others have found that beneficial effect has a final root canal age irrigant with 7% malic acid. To the best of our knowledge, 7% malic acid has not been used as a root conditioning agent in periodontics. So with this concise knowledge, the aim of this present study was to evaluate the use of 7% malic acid as a root biomodification agent and to compare it with other root conditioning agents for effective demineralization of root surfaces. To the methodology, ethical clearance was obtained from the Institutional Review Board, Manipal University. A total of 20 single-rooted human permanent teeth extracted due to advanced periodontal disease was selected. The cemental surface was meticulously root planed. Then the tooth was split longitudinally to form 40 radicular halves, and it was further cut into rectangular pieces of dimensions 5 into 3 into 1. The samples were then randomly divided into 4 groups. In each group, there were 10, and in group 1, which was the citric acid group, 50% citric acid was burnished onto the surfaces of the tooth surfaces, both at 1 and 3 minutes. In group 2, 17% of EDTA was burnished at 2 time intervals of 1 and 3 minutes. In group 3, 7% malic acid was burnished for both 1 and 3 minutes, and the group 4 served as a control where saline was used for 1 and 3 minutes. Preparation of the samples for scanning electron microscopic evaluation. The samples, once it was treated, it was washed well with distilled water. Then it was fixed in 2% glutaraldehyde in phosphate buffer saline for 15 minutes. Further, samples were post-fixed at 4 to 6 degrees for 12 hours with osmium tetraoxide, which is a biological staining agent, for around 30 minutes. Following samples were again dehydrating in ascending concentrations of ethanol for 10 minutes. The samples were then freeze-dried, mounted on aluminum plates, and gold-coated. Then they were ready to be observed under scanning electron microscopy. The images which were seen in scanning electron microscope was scored according to the scoring criteria that was put about by Tarabino-Jett, wherein 1 says no smear layer, 2 moderate smear layer, and 3 was a complete or heavy smear layer. In order to understand or study the adherence of fibroblast onto this demineralized root surface, a cell culture and growth study was done, in which human periodontal ligament cell lines was obtained from teeth that was freshly extracted. The tooth was then taken under a sterile laminar flow and washed with phosphate buffer saline and the antibiotic solution. Periodontal ligament tissue was scraped from the mid portion of the root surface, and then the tissues were transferred into a 6-well plate wherein Dulbecko's modified eagle medium was carefully added. The petri dishes were then incubated at 37 degrees around in an atmosphere of 5% carbon dioxide till a confluence was noticed. At this stage, the cells were ready to be trypsinized and also establish subcultures. Then 12 single-rooted human teeth were extracted, again due to advanced periodontal conditions. The root surface were instrumental well, and after which it was sectioned into following dimensions and placed into the petri dishes containing the culture medium. The samples were burnished with the test agents and were placed into the medium and incubated at 37 degrees for 24 hours. Now the samples were prepared again for the SEM analysis as the preparation spoken before. The results of the present study was analyzed by the Pierce Pearson's chi-square test, and a significance level was set at p 0.05. Over to the results. All the samples were checked at both time intervals 1 and 3 minutes. All the 3 test agents were successful in eliminating smear layer at both the time intervals. Intergroup comparison showed group citric acid to be significantly effective in eliminating smear layer compared to group EDTA, both at 1 and 3 minutes. Notable effects were also seen in group malic acid, in which malic acid effectively removed smear layer when compared to citric acid and EDTA. While in the control side, wherein saline was only used, almost all the specimens showed heavy smear layer. Well, this is what we see, a graphical representation. You can see that malic acid was effective than citric acid and EDTA, while citric acid was better than EDTA, but not as good as malic acid. These are the scanning electron microscopic photographs of the smear layer. You can see all the 3 demineralizing agents exposed the dentinal tubules, and this is of the control side where the dentinal tubules are not exposed. This is a result of the cell adherence test. We found cells that exhibited morphological patterns which ranged from cylindrical appearance to small rounded forms. Over to the discussion. The objective was to investigate the effect of 7% malic acid as a root conditioning agent and its ability to remove smear layer. The time period that was chosen was in accordance with Bogle, who proposed the time as 3 seconds to 3 minutes, aimed at removing smear layer and widening of the dentinal tubules without causing any biological damage to any biological structures. The method of application also plays a very important role for exposure of the collagen fibers to enhance the cellular adherence. The technique here involved was the burnishing technique, which effectually removed smear layer and exposed the dentinal tubules. In this study, all the test agents removed smear layer. Well, this was in accordance to Bromhoff's and Lindskog's along with Ruggeri's work, who concluded that citric acid and EDTA led to exposure of fibers and proteoglycans without destruction of the dentin matrix. However, our findings demonstrated that EDTA failed to perform efficiently compared to citric acid and malic acid. Citric acid significantly demineralized the root surface when compared to EDTA, which was in accordance with studies by Register and Burdock, and they have concluded that citric acid pH of 1 for 2 to 3 minutes have resulted in optimum cementogenesis and connective tissue attachment. Malic acid, however, did a very good job. It effectively removed smear layer from an instrumented root canal. In this study too, malic acid was found to be effective than citric acid and EDTA, probably due to its high demineralizing efficiency. Already a study has been done where it's found to have a low toxicity feature than citric acid and could warrant its use for in vivo use. The cell attachment test was performed to clarify the adherence of the cell onto the root surfaces, which was burnished by the test agents, which in turn exhibits its ability for an enhanced periodontal restorative process. Now, since this is the first study to use malic acid as a root conditioning agent, the cell adherence on the root surface burnished with 7% malic acid supports the concept that it could provide a biocompatible zone for periodontal regeneration. To conclude my study, this is a preliminary evidence on the demineralizing effect of 7% malic acid when it was used as a root conditioning agent. Its positive features like low toxicity may entail its use in combination with other treatment modalities, while further in vivo studies need to be performed to evaluate the influence of malic acid as a root biomodification agent on periodontal attachment. Several factors may modulate the regenerative potential of the periodontium. Their role and impact on the ability of the periodontium to regenerate needs to be explored, and these possibilities could shape the future of dental and oral health. These are my references.